Hey friends, Kristen here. Happy Halloween. I can't believe it's here. We've been making Halloween jewelry, I feel like, for a month and a half. And now we finally arrived. I'm wearing all of my Spider Queen earrings and necklace, and I've gotten so much use out of this set this year. It's been really fun to wear. I wore it to my let me move that down just a little. My youngest son had a Halloween concert, a symphony concert on Saturday, and so I wore all my Spider Queen jewelry there, and then I had a Halloween party last week, and now it's Halloween. I was like, I don't know if I've ever worn this much Halloween jewelry during this season. So I must like this one extra, extra special. So if you missed any of the Spider Queen jewelry designs, the web we made during the Great Bead Extravaganza Coffee and Craft Wire, we made the web earrings. And then I came back the following Monday and I made the web to add to the necklace. And then the necklace itself I made last year with the during our trick or treat party, and I just added the web to it this year, which I think has been such a fun addition. So happy Halloween to everyone out there. I hope you're wearing your Halloween jewelry today. If you got our email, you may have seen that we've got some treats for you. The first one is we've got at softflexcompany.com, spend $59, get a free strand of our Nutcracker bead strand. So it matches our newest kit, which is the Nutcracker design kit. It's based off the cherished classic, the ballet. So it's really, really sweet. That's our holiday kit. We'll be excited to unpack that, unveil it, and create with it the end of November and into December. And then the other treat we have for you is that our friend Abby of the Bead Place, she got her tutorial completed for the Softflex Company Customer Appreciation Week. So those of you that bought the kit, you'll be excited to know that that tutorial is now available. You can find it over on the Bead Place's YouTube channel, and you would get the link in our email today from Softflex Company. We also shared the link on the VIB Studio and on the Customer Appreciation webpage over at softflexcompany.com. So if you got the kit and you've been waiting on that, Abby was not feeling well during our Customer Appreciation Week Live. And so she got that tutorial together after she was doing better and now has it up for you as of today. And if you didn't get the kit, you could still watch the tutorial, check it out. I think she's still got kits available over at beadplace.net, and the link to that is in the video itself. So that are two of our treats that we've got going on for you today. And let me just say hello to some of you joining me. Hi, Gail. Hi, Lydia and Heather and Marianne and Susie. Happy Halloween, everybody. Nice to see you today too. I think you may have joined my art newsletter list too, Susie. Was that you that I saw today join me? I have a special announcement going on over in my Kristen Fagan art and design world, which is launching today. So if you're on my email list for my art business, you'll get those details, or you can find out about it in my group, Discover Your Creative Magic. So you can find my new offering that's going live today in my personal group over at Discover Your Creative Magic. So join me there if you're interested in just general art making, intuitive, intentional painting and art journaling and mixed media, things like that. So what are we doing today? Today I and pulling out all of my fall colors. You might see some pretty colors over here. Yes, Marianne says, happy shaman for the witches. Totally, totally, totally. And Sheila says, happy Halloween. I was going to do some pumpkin earrings today because I did that a couple of years back and they're super cute. But I was like, you know what? I already did that. And we don't have any like melon shaped beads in the shop right now that I would, or in my studio even, for me to kind of pull from. So instead, I'm just going to share them with you and we'll drop a link for you to check out my previous video. I think I did it a year or two ago. Oh, Damien's already got it in there. Thanks, Damien. Pumpkin earring videos is over at that link. And you can find it on our YouTube channel at Softlex Company's YouTube channel. So anything else before I get started? I talked about our sale. Spend $59 or more and get your free Nutcracker bead strand over at softlexcompany.com. We have our newest kit, the Nutcracker Design Kit. So the strand coordinates with that. So it'll be great to pick those up at the same time. The kit is 55% sold out. So they're moving quickly, which is great. So fun for the holidays. And what else? And if you spend $65 or more, you have the option for free US shipping. So yeah, that's what's going on over at Team Softlex. And one last thing, I'm going to say it right in the beginning so I don't forget. We have a very special live sale coming up. It is, we did it last year for the first time, and it is a jewelry sale from Softlex Company co-owner and founder Mike Sherman, his jewelry that he's put together. So we're going to have a special live jewelry sale, and it's finished jewelry. So it's gift giving ideas for you or for someone else, finished jewelry that you can purchase from Mike. And I think that's next Tuesday. Damien will have to just check the date for me and make sure. November 8th. Thank you. Mike's live sale is going to be on November 8th on the Softlex Company Facebook page. And I believe that'll start at noon Pacific time, like our live sales generally do. And it's going to be a finished jewelry sale. So really special. Come check it out. Lots of stuff to ooh and ah over for sure in that sale. I know we did really well last year with that. So we're excited to bring that back for all of you this year. All right. Gail says the new kit is gorgeous. Yeah, it's really pretty. I went to the Nutcracker last year with my kids. And I'd seen it in the past, but I think we took a break for a while, and I've seen it on different renditions. But last year we decided to go and see it with the actual Phoenix Ballet and the Phoenix Symphony. And that was sort of after that, I said, oh, we have to do a Nutcracker kit. So I was like, that's where I put it on our list to think about for this year after I had gotten back from it last year. And I'm like, that would be such a fun kit. And I hope we get to go to see it again. I think we're going to go try and see it again this year. One more time. That's a nice tradition, I think. Nice tradition. All right. Well, there's the link to the design kits if you want to go check it out. I know we've got some of the Pink Warrior design kits left, which are wonderful gifts. And then you can also make wonderful jewelry to commemorate loved ones in your life that are warriors, survivors, or those that may have lost their battle. And so go check that out. We still have a handful of those left, of the Pink Warrior kits. But the Nutcracker kit is our newest one. And let's switch our screen here and see what we're working with. So on a day, let's move my desk just a smidge. There we go. On a day like today where I didn't have too much of a plan, I just pulled out a bunch of things that we've brought in at softflexcompany.com. A couple of things are just from my stash, like these jump rings here. But some things we brought in recently that I haven't had a chance to play with yet, and that just were really kind of giving me all those fall feels. So first things I've got here to show you is a few of the items on my table are from our Fall Fest, the Great Bead Extravaganza Fall Fest kit. And these were the earrings that I made for that tutorial. Really fun. You can get some of these things still. You can get these blue rolla beads, and of course you can get the craft wire and the ear wires. But all the other items here were in the design kit that's now sold out. And then I just wanted to show you guys, I started to work on a bracelet to match in that herringbone style. And I was thinking about putting the little 2-hole beads kind of in the center to make a focal and then do the herringbone on either side. But I ran out of wire and I can't find my little 1x1 crimps. So I got to get some new 1x1 crimps. And once I get new 1x1 crimps, I can attach another strand of my Soft Touch Very Fine in white to the end here, and then continue to finish my bracelet. And then I thought maybe I would hang this little charm or something like that, either at the end or in the center. And then they'll match those earrings that we made. So these things, if you got the kit, the Fall Fest kit, you would have gotten these little leaves. You get these 2-hole beads. You'd have these little fire polish beads here, and you've had all of the blue rolla beads. I just added the travertine color beads to the edge just to give it a little something different. But you can even just continue with just the blue and make yourself a herringbone bracelet to match the earrings also. I know I had more 1x1s because I had them for the video. So I don't know if they just kind of snuck away somewhere, and when I clean up, maybe I'll find them. But for now, that project's on hold. So that's these beads here. These are the rolla beads that came in the Fall Fest design kit, but you can get these separately. I know we're getting low on our stock, but I think we're planning to get some in. I know quite a few colors have actually sold out of the rolla beads. So that's the dark blue, which is super pretty. And then this is like that travertine color, which I'm going to actually use today. So when I pulled all these things together, at first I wasn't sure what I was going to use, but I took a few minutes right before my video to kind of get some ideas going. And I think we're going to work on this project here. So this is what I got started on. Yeah, Marianne says your house spirits are hiding them. They're totally hiding them. They're playing with me for this Halloween holiday. So what else do I got here? So I've got the little pumpkin earrings that I mentioned in the beginning. This is the tutorial that I did a few years ago that you can go check out on our YouTube channel. Really cute with these melon orange beads. If you got one of our kits, like, I don't know if it was last year's fall kit. I think it was. We had a strand of a bunch of different melon colors in there. So if you haven't finished all of them, maybe there's some pumpkin colored melon beads in your fall kit from last year. A couple other things I pulled out, but I don't think I'm going to use today. Well, maybe I'll use these clasps. I'm not sure. But we've got these really fun ceramic pendants. And if I was making a necklace, I thought that went really nicely with these colors. Maybe I will make that at some point to match, but I'm kind of working on a bracelet idea, I think, here. So that was one of the things I pulled out as a possibility. And then, of course, we've got some of our new woodland charms and button from Tierra Cast. This one is the redwood, says not all those who wander are lost. Really pretty in the copper color, and we have them in other metal tones too. And then this is the little thistle button, and we also have a thistle charm. But if you had gotten the Fall Fest kit, you would have gotten these included as well as this fern. So that's why I decided to kind of play with that from the kit, but you can also grab them separately if you missed it. So you can still grab the fern, the redwood, and the thistle at softluxcompany.com. Now these are only a kit exclusive. These were in the Fall Fest kit. I only ended up using 2 of them in my earrings, so I had quite a few left, and I just love this bead. So I'm going to use this in today's project. You're not able to purchase this any longer, but if you have the kit, you can grab these beads from there. If you don't have the kit, you might have something else in your stash you can use, or just find another bead that's similar in size that may work for you. I'm also going to use these sweet little Hishi beads in the green turquoise color. You can get this beautiful bronzy color as well at softluxcompany.com. And if you got the Fall Fest kit from the Great Bead Extravaganza, you'd have this really lovely dark blue. It's got like pops of lighter blue in there, and you can always substitute that if you wanted to. I think we still have these 2 colors available online. I don't know if we have the red anymore. We had a red one too. But you can go check it out at softluxcompany.com. Happy Halloween, Amanda. Lydia says, I wander my house lost sometimes when I can't remember why I entered a room. Yes, I've definitely done that too. It's always the funniest when you end up in the bathroom and you're like, why am I here? And you're like, oh, I don't have to go to the bathroom. So why did I come in here? Why did I come in here? Maybe the crimps are hanging out somewhere funny like that. And then lastly, I've got on my table some craft wire. I'm playing with the antique copper. I think it looks really pretty with these antique copper components. You can also go with the bright copper, or you can go with the bare copper if you want to let it patina. So our bare copper is the only one that doesn't have a coating on top, so it will patina. You can get the non-tarnished copper, which would be a bright copper, and then this one is the antique. And I'm going to be using 24 and 20 gauge today. You can also use 22 gauge. I just didn't have it in the antique color, so I went down to the 24. So either one will work, I think, for the little dangles. And then I'm using the 20 gauge for the larger connections. And all of our craft wire, we've got an 8+ spool deal that we run from time to time, and sometimes it's available and sometimes it's not, just depending on what our current promotions are. And this week it is available. So if you buy 8 or more spools of the Softluxe craft wire, you'll get 20% off of all of the spools. And you can mix and match the gauges and mix and match the colors. Usually if the promotion's going on, you'll see a little notice in your when you're shopping the craft wire section. I don't know if it pops up just when you're looking at it or after you add one to your cart, but it should alert you that you can get that 20% off with the 8+ spools. We have it for craft wire. We also have it for beading wire. The only caveat with beading wire is that our trios, our quad, and our duo, anything that comes in a pack, that counts as one. So it doesn't count as you know, the number that's in the pack. The whole pack itself counts as one. So that's going on. You can get mix and match 20% off all of our craft wire. And then this strand I'm using, which I just pulled them all off the thing. That's all right. Okay. This one's really pretty mustard color. It's got a little bit of a sparkle, but it's more matte, I think, overall. If you want more sparkle than that, you can always swap that design for a fire polish like this. So these are in our fire polish section. I think this is like the topaz color probably. And it's super sparkly. I went with the mustard color in here, but you can always swap that out and add a little more sparkle if that's your jam. I have some jump rings here, and let me see what size they are. Oh my gosh, the sun just keeps creeping on me. Move myself over again. These itty bitty ones look to be about 4 millimeters. And then this one is 10 millimeters. So I've got a 4 millimeter and a 10 millimeter jump ring, and you can mix and match those sizes. Really, I've got the little one to attach to the link, and then I've got the larger one to add these little dangles. And then we're just going to do a connection with the craft wire, and then we'll add a larger one. So you'll only need 2, maybe 4, depending on how we do the clasp at the end. Maybe 4 tops on the little one. And I don't know how many we'll need on the big one just yet because I haven't finished. So I don't know. And then for tools, I've got a pair of cutters. I've got a pair of bent nose and chain nose pliers and a pair of round nose pliers. I think that's it. I think we can get started now. Marianne says, I'm sure we've all done that. Yeah, we totally have. We've all walked in somewhere and been like, what am I doing here? Usually I end up having to walk back out, and then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing there. So for the clasp, I've got a little lobster claw, but I also have a button, or I can use a toggle. I think I've got a toggle over here too. No, but I can get a toggle out of my stash if that's what I end up needing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is make some of these little dangles. I know fall is my favorite too. I love fall colors. I love them, love them, love them. So I'm going to first cut for each little ring that we do. We're going to do 4 dangles. So I'm going to cut 4 3-inch pieces of my 24 gauge Softlex craft wire. And I just cut one, and then it's not an exact science. I'm just using that as my So there's 4. Maybe I'll do 4 more. So I went through all of the swag bag signups for the Great Bead Extravaganza today, and we've got our winners chosen. So stay tuned for the announcement. I'll probably do that this afternoon after the video. I can't tell you yet because I don't remember. I didn't write down the names to bring over to my table, but we appreciate all of you so, so much. And we had such a fun time. Let's see if I move these out of the way so they don't get in the way of what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm going to take the end, and using my round nose pliers, I'm going to go to the tippy top, and we're going to make one of those knotted head pins, right? So we're going to twist all the way around to make a complete loop once, and then I'm going to go twice, so till I come back to the start, and I'm on that like third time. And I try and do it as close to the tip as I can so that it's a nice small little knot in the head pin. And then I'm just going to fold my wire up before I take it off the tool. And now what I've got here, let's show you, is this little spiral, little coil at the end. And I'm going to take my other end of the wire and feed it through that loop I made. And then because this is so soft, I can just kind of do it with my hands. But if you want to use a tool, you can use a pair of nylon gel pliers and a pair of chain nose pliers and pull it down through that way. And I do that a lot when I'm using a heavier gauge, but this 24 gauge is so malleable. So now I've got one of my little head pins. I'm going to do that 3 more times so that I've got my 4 dangles. Such a tease, Marianne says tease. I know, I was such a tease. I was like, should I say anything? But then I'm like, I gotta tell you that I chose them. I mean, they're chosen by random number generator, and we had three winners. If you don't know what I'm talking about, every time we do a Great Bead Extravaganza, we have a giveaway that all of us presenters, all 14 companies participate in, or I think it was everybody, usually is. And we put together 3 swag bags of prizes. And yeah, I can. Sorry. Let's see what it kind of, let's see if we can see it. Can you see the end of that? It's just sort of a little bitty knot. It's pretty cute because once you've got it here, let me pick it up on the beads and see if you can see that. Just kind of a little tiny knot at the end. It works really well. And I actually think this 24 gauge ended up being a good one for these teeny beads. I always laugh because my doggies like to sleep all day long, and most days they do not come walking into this office. But when I'm on my video, they hear me talking and they're like, who is she talking to? So that's why you hear all of the little pitter patter of their feet on our wood floor, of their little paws. But it's funny because I mean, most days they don't bother coming out and checking me out at all. They just sleep in the bedroom. Yes, Melissa says, I love making knotted head pins. She learned them from Sarah Lovecraft first. Yes. Yeah, she does them a lot. I've been playing with all sorts of different ones, but I feel like for this design, the knotted was a good one. Sometimes I do spirals. I think Sarah Ayler did like a, it was also a knot, but it was a different kind of knot. I have to watch that one again that she did. Okay, so now we've just got a little head pin here. Melissa says the dogs say, Mom, are you losing your mind again? They're like, yeah, who's she talking to in there? What is going on? So now we've got the knotted head pin. I put one of those little hishis, the little daisy spacers in the turquoise, and then one of the travertine yellowy colored rolla beads to make my little dangle. And then I go and I'm just going to make a wrap dangle, and I'm going to see how on your tool it's tapered. So if you get close to the edge, you're going to make a really tiny one. If you're up close to the joint here, then you're going to make a really large one. I'm kind of in between the middle and the end. It's just sort of where I like to go. I'm going to make my loop, and then I'm going to wrap a bunch. I'm going to wrap all the rest of this wire. And I do that with this one because I like the look of a nice thick wire wrap. And also because it's a very thin wire, it's kind of nice to add the little extra support. The other thing you could do is sometimes I've seen people do a double loop here. I don't know if it's necessary for this because these beads are so tiny and light. But if my beads were a little thicker, I've got my dangle. Amanda says, hi, doggies. I know they walked back away now. They're like, oh, she's at that spot. She's at that spot where she ignores us and just keeps talking. I'm just going to do that now 3 more times. So what did you guys think about us having the Great Bead Extravaganza in October this time instead of November? I kind of liked it. Only because I feel like things just really start ramping up in November. And I thought it was kind of fun to be able to get a jump start before all of that. These are so cute. I love these colors together. Don't you love like a burnt, like it's kind of like a burnt yellowy looking mustard-ish and turquoise together. Such a great combo. In my humble opinion. Lydia says October was good, but it's going to be hard to wait till February for the next one. It does feel far away, doesn't it? Believe me, it'll creep up on us quickly. They always do. But yeah, it does feel like that's a while away. Melissa says, I liked it. November is always busy, so I can't watch everyone, and October is better for me. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking too. I don't know. It felt good timing wise for me this year. Marianne liked October timing. And Janelda says she's sorry she's late. She was watching Kay Star Beats Monday Live. I was telling Kay the other day because we had a meeting and we were chit-chatting. I think it was Friday. And I said, Janelda always comes to my video late because she's watching your live. I think we were talking, Kay and I were talking about collaborating on a video. And I said, I think you're on around the same time as me. That's how it came up. So stay tuned. One of these days, maybe Kay and I will be on the Free Spirit Beading live on Monday together, or I'll be on her video together, or maybe we'll do both. Marianne says, except it's in January. Oh, is it in January? Yeah, I think it is in January. You're right. So we don't have to wait. See, Lydia, we don't have to wait till February. I think it's in January, the next one, the midwinter. I'm kind of bad in the beginning because once we do one, it takes me a little while to really like figure out when the next one is, because I'm ready to be like, okay, I need to regroup. So I'm going to use the smaller jump ring. Just twisted it to the side to open it up. And I'm going to add that to my other side of my link. And that's what I did on this first side too. And then just twist it closed. And this one was about 4 millimeters. What are the dates? I wonder. Maybe it's the end of January. I think we were thinking, Tucson is sort of the end of January, beginning of February. And this year it may be back to kind of its normal or somewhat normal happenstance. So I think that's what we were thinking. So now I'm going to take that larger jump ring and attach it to the smaller one from the Fern. And then I'm going to add 2 dangles on one side and 2 dangles on the other side. And I can just lay that down and leave it open because that's where we're going to add our next connection. Yeah, Janelle just says end of January, beginning of February is the Tucson event. Yes, we were kind of right around. Well, we've done a Tucson event each time. I don't even remember if we decided. So don't quote me on that. What we plan to do for Tucson this year. We might, depending on, it's tough because if some of the presenters end up in Tucson, it's going to change things around a little bit. So I think we were kind of like, hey, let's do it January, and then we'll see what happens for Tucson and then plan what we want to do for Tucson. The Great Bead Extravaganza Midsummer Market is January 14th and 15th. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Terry and Marianne. Time means nothing. I know. Time is an illusion, right? It's all made up anyway. Just like control is an illusion. Oh, what am I doing? I'm going to do this on the thicker wire. So now I'm going to cut myself a piece of this 20 gauge antique copper wire. And I'll probably do about 4 inches. The Midwinter Market. And then I'll go about halfway down, maybe not quite halfway. Make a 90-degree angle. And now I'm going to use my round nose pliers, but I'm going to go all the way to the back this time. So we went all the way to the front for the little knotted head pins. We went around here for my regular little dangles. And now I'm going to go all the way to the back for this one because I want like a fun big loop. Since I have these large jump rings, I'm going to go all the way to the back, put my wire on the top, change the location, switch my kind of tool around, pull my wire underneath, and then wrap the remaining tail. And you can either do this kind of neatly or a little more messy like I'm doing here. And then I'm going to trim off the end. I'm just going to put my flush cutters right up to the area I want to trim. And I'm going to face it down so that my little piece falls to my table and not back out me. Using my chain nose pliers, tuck in that wire. And then I'm going to add one of these little mustard beads and one of these turquoise leaves. Damien said his mind is still in summer. You haven't let go yet, huh? And you love Halloween, Damien. Did this season creep up on you? Yeah. Janelda says she likes the look of the antique copper. It's one of my favorites. I love the vintage bronze and yeah, that's what it's called. Vintage bronze and the antique copper and the pewter are probably my three favorite colors of the craft wire. So now I'm just going to grab a hold of this end and see I've got my loop going from east to west. So I'm just going to bend this in that direction so it's kind of towards me, and then go back to my round nose pliers, scoot it all the way to the back so I get that nice big loop. And then wrap it around. Again, I'm doing it with my finger. It's a little tough with the 20 gauge because it is a bit tougher. You could always do it with 2 pliers instead. Whatever floats your boat. Tuck it in, and then the last thing I'll do is just take 2 pliers and kind of straighten this out so that these are parallel. And now I can add this into that large jump ring between the other 2, close it up. So now I've got the same thing happening on either side of that fern. Let's see how it looks on kind of halfway there. So I'll probably have to do that 2 more times. And you can even kind of bend the wire just slightly if you want to give it a little bit of a curve. And you can even do that with this fern. I have one of these bracelet benders that you can kind of pop in here. Let's see. And just, I'm going to do it really, really softly. And what that does, it just gives it a little curve. And you could probably do that with another plier too. They're actually pretty soft. And then that way it'll kind of lay on your wrist a little more nicely. Midsummer in January, dang that global warming. Yeah, right? It will feel that way at some point, probably. Oh, Terry says she's all for summer being year round, through though the midterm midwinter gives a glimmer of hope. We are halfway there. That's a good point. That's kind of a nice spin on the midwinter that I didn't think about, is that we're halfway there. So when we have our show, it'll be like the tipping point. Let's get a check on the length of this so far. I have a feeling that I might want to make these connections maybe smaller, but yeah, because I'm a little over 5 right now. I got to get to 7 for me. So I might, in the next one, maybe I'll just use one of the leaves and leave out the mustard color and see what that feels like. Or I could do it the opposite way if it's still too big. All right, we're going to make some more knotted head pins. We're going to do a couple more dangles here. Aw, thanks for all the design, love. Thank you. I don't know what it is about fall, but I just always feel like fall designs are so pretty. So pretty. I think it's just a color palette I adore. And I like having those things like the turquoise in there to give it a little pop, or having like a little pink, like hot pink or something added with browns. And oh, Terry's asking, do you think the top of the leaf could be curled back enough to hook it into a larger ring as a clasp? I think so. I don't really know though. I don't know how far back you feel like it would need to be, like if it would be curling too far that you hurt the integrity of it. It's a pretty small little hole there, but that doesn't mean that nothing will work. Deb says, Medallion Design, same. I love the fall colors, and turquoise is my fave. I know. I'm like convinced. I mean, turquoise to me is like a neutral, right? Like it could be in the spring, the fall, the summer, even the winter, because icicles and stuff like that can have those little pops of turquoise. Yeah, Terry says, I would hate to stress the metal too much. That's what I would worry about, because it is soft and malleable, but that can sometimes be an issue. It's too soft and malleable that it might just snap. Aw, Thomas is here. Happy Halloween, Kristen and Damien from Thomas, and everybody too. Thanks, T. What are you guys up to? You gonna excited? Is your son excited for trick-or-treating? I don't know. I think it's gonna be pretty quiet around my house this year, because my kids have already kind of done some stuff, and I don't think that there's much going on tonight. But I could be wrong. They could come home and tell me differently. Somebody saying, but garnets are lovely too. Yes. I don't know. Like, I always think like pink tourmaline, like that's such a fall color to me, but it has those like pinks and reds and greens and oh my gosh, so pretty. Okay, so let's make a couple more dangles. We've got the little he sheet and the roller bead. Did you tell me what your son is being for Halloween, Thomas? I know he loves the holiday. Just waiting for him to get home from school. The anticipation. Oh, that sounds lovely, Tony. Go enjoy some early trick-or-treating. We always trick-or-treated early in New York, where I grew up. It was a daytime thing for the little kiddos. And then the night belonged to the teenagers and the older kids. But here in Arizona, nobody goes out until the evening. That was quite a change for me because I've always grown up with it being like we would go trick-or-treating right after school growing up. And here everyone waits until the sun starts to go down, which makes sense. I actually think it keeps it a little safer. I have some not so great memories and stories from Halloweens of my childhood. And I think part of that is because there aren't any adults. And, you know, here there's a lot of adults out because they're taking their little kids in the evening. And for me, by the time the evening came around, all of the little kids were done and the adults were kind of back home. It was a little more free for all, I feel like. Thomas says last year he was a dark gator, his way of saying Darth Vader. Oh, that's cute. And this year he has, oh, that's right. I did see a picture of it. Thomas says this year he has an odd costume. An old lady mouse with a shawl with skeletons on it. It looks like a spooky grandma. It was very cute and different, which I think is awesome. Oh, it won him the most creative award. Yeah, I totally get that. Night is when the goblins come out. This. Yeah. I was telling Christy Friesen some of the stories when I saw her in Hawaii earlier this month. And she couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe so. I don't know if she shared them with anybody in her Christie's creative neighborhood or circle because she had said that she was going to share some of those stories. Deb says, we used to do after dark when I was young, a long, long time ago. Here it is like 6 to 8 p.m. to give parents time to get home from work. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I used to go at like 4 when it was still light out, like before dinner we used to go. But that probably has changed. That sun is creeping in. Let's move this over. All right, so now I'm going to add my dangles on one side, the other side. And I got to think about what I want to do for my connection, my next connection. Should I just go with the little leaf, or should I just go with the mustard and do a smaller link? Or should I just do the whole thing and see what size? Maybe I'll do the whole thing and see how big it is. I might have to readjust, but Maria says turquoise leaf. Get rid of that mustard bead and just go turquoise. Thanks, Thomas. It was nice to see you stop in. Happy Halloween. Hope you guys have fun tonight. I'm sure you will. I am sure you will. I'm going to be sad that we don't have like candy in the house though. I didn't even buy candy. Maybe I'll get some before the night comes. We don't usually get too much action on our block. We live on a pretty quiet block and we don't have any neighbors like on the other side. So it's one of the smaller blocks in terms of how many neighbors are on it. So I always buy candy, but then we end up just eating it ourselves because they don't come around. They don't come around. And I think the trunk or treat phenomenon has probably made it less also. That was not a thing years ago. I was talking to my mom the other day and I said, one of my kids went to a trunk or treat at the high school. And I just said they went to a trick or treat. And my kid was like, it's a trunk or treat, not a trick or treat. I'm like, I don't think grandma knows what a trunk or treat is. And I was like, Mom, do you know what a trunk or treat is? And she was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I was like, see, that's why I had just said trick or treat, because she didn't know. It was like she wasn't going to know what I meant. But they are kind of fun to see everyone decorate their trunks. We did do that last year. I always like when people do like large, big, spooky faces, like the whole trunk is like the mouth or something. I always think that looks cute. Janelda lives on a cul-de-sac and we only get about 10. Yes, you have to eat all the leftover candy. That's what happened last time. I know some friends that do like a nice barbecue and stuff. I'm like, oh, that would be fun if my block had like a little block party. Okay, so I left off the mustard and just did the leaf on this one. And mostly because I'm thinking size-wise, I might be getting kind of close. Yeah, I think that kind of, I think that works better sizing-wise. So I've got to do 4 more dangles and another leaf on this side, and then I got to figure out how to end this. How do I want to end this? I mean, I guess an easy way would just be to add one of these lobster clasps on here. Yeah. That'll work because I've just got enough space here to add one more little connector and probably a jump ring. And I think that that'll be good spacing wise. So I'll probably stop here since I've been going for an hour and just finish off adding 4 more dangles on this jump ring, adding 1 more leaf connector, and then adding another little jump ring to connect on my lobster clasp. And you could always add maybe like a little charm or something on this end too that hangs down. You could do one of the leaves, or you could do one of these thistle charms or something else. Sometimes it's nice to have a charm when you have to add a little bit of the weight there. So I hope you guys liked today's project. It just sort of came together right before. I love these colors. Oh my gosh. And this would be even fun to do as a necklace, wouldn't it? To have these little dangles and these connections kind of going up and down. But I think that's going to look lovely when it's all said and done. I like how these little leaves look like hearts too. Feeling the fall love. Feeling the fall love. Thank you guys for joining me today. I wish you all a very happy Halloween, and go check out some of the treats we have for you. Your free Nutcracker bead strand when you purchase $59 or more. It'll automatically happen. You don't need any coupon codes. It's good for retail and designer orders. You can get the beads I used today, most of them, just not those turquoise leaves. Those were in the kit only, but everything else you can still purchase. All of the fern leaf and any of the tiara cast new woodland items are at softluxcompany.com. Thanks for all of your help. Damien. Oh, Damien is sharing what trunk or treat is. Yeah, I'm going to share that. During trunk or treat events, adults decorate the back of their cars for Halloween. They load up on candy. They sit in a parking lot for kids to trick or treat from car to car. So a lot of times you'll see it happening at schools, elementary schools, junior high, high schools, and churches and things like that, so that it's kind of a safe place for a community to come together and have a trick-or-treat party, but it's all with the trunks. It's kind of like a tailgating, I guess, a Halloween tailgating, which I think is pretty fun. It is really cute. Then they get to see a lot of their friends and stuff all at once. Sometimes when you're in your neighborhood, you don't necessarily see the kids that you might know or go to school with. So the trunk or treats allow you to kind of go and be with the community that you might know and see all those costumes. So it's pretty cool. But I do think that it makes the trick or treating sometimes a little less. Depends on the neighborhood. I do know some neighborhoods just go all out, and you can definitely get the haunted houses and the trick-or-treating and all sorts of stuff, which is really fun. We lived on a block like that about 10 or so years ago, where they would always have, one house had like one of those walk-through haunted houses. And so our block was really hopping. Now our block is super quiet, super, super quiet. So have a wonderful holiday. Stay safe out there. And Sarah is off this week. She is going to Disneyland with her family, so you're not going to see her on Wednesday. But hopefully we'll be able to, maybe I'll get on TikTok or something like that, and Instagram, and get some quick videos to you throughout the week here. And save the date for our live sale, Mike's Jewelry Collection, next Tuesday, November 8th, and that's at noon Pacific time. Always fun. Yes, thanks. I agree. I always have a good time with all of you. And I will see you next Monday. So have a great rest of your week. Happy Halloween. And look for those winners. I'll post them up shortly after. I just got to go pick up my kid from school. And when I get back, I will post those winners. Check it out on the Great Bead Extravaganza group and Facebook page for those swag bags. All right, bye.